What do we see here? The first thing is that they are tempted while they are waiting. It's important that you see that and learn from it for your own life. They were tempted while they were waiting. The time was long. 10 years had passed, and they began to conclude that God needed their help to fulfill his own promise. Therefore, we'll take matters into our own hands and give the Lord a push in the right direction. They may have reason in their own hearts. Of course, all of this is in line with the promise that the Lord has given. But if they'd thought a little longer and went back to Genesis chapter 2, whatever the cultural custom was, the Lord had clearly established that marriage was to be between one man and one woman. And every time another wife gets involved in a family in Scripture, it's never good. Some people say the Bible justifies polygamy. No, the Bible describes the existence of polygamy, but note the way in which it describes it. If you want a warning, start here. Everything goes wrong when this happens in someone's life. And it can be Jacob, or it can be Abram, it can be Solomon, who had all these wives, but he ended up in a place saying, vanity of vanity, everything is vanity. What they're doing here is walking in the flesh. They're trying to solve a problem by human wisdom. And God speaks to us very clearly in Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 through 7 that we ought to avoid this method. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord. Depart from evil. That would have fixed the problem in Abram's house to prevent it becoming an even greater problem. They were tempted while they waited. Understand that you will suffer the same temptations. That when you are waiting on the Lord, you will have the temptation to turn aside or to take matters into your own hands. When God is not in as much of a rush to answer your prayers as you are to have those prayers answered. You will feel that you need to manipulate circumstances and take matters into your own hands to help the Lord along in the fulfillment of his own promises to you. And the result of that will be you find yourself slipping into various degrees of compromise, and you begin to counsel yourself as a practical antinomian that the end justifies the means.